Hey everyone, my name is Bex, and my goal is to break down and demystify the world of wine for you. And in this episode, I'm going to be talking about how to read a wine label, specifically Old World wine, which just means anything within the continent of Europe. The EU has much stricter labeling laws than the rest of the world, and part of that is to protect the integrity of what they grow. As New World wine began to grow in popularity, people were able to label Chablis or Champagne on their wine, even though it had nothing to do with those particular regions. The World Trade Organization decided to limit what you can actually put on a bottle. If you have Chablis on a label, that wine has to legally come from the region of Chablis in France. So when you're walking through a wine shop and you look in the section on French wine and you see something like this Côte du Rhône, you can be sure that all of these grapes came from the Rhône region in France, because legally they have to. Another layer with these labeling laws is that within these specific regions, they're only legally allowed to grow certain grapes. That's part of how they manage quality control and make sure that each region does keep a very distinctive style. It's part of their culture and heritage in keeping with tradition. One benefit to this, though, is that once you understand what grapes are grown where, you know what you're expecting from this bottle. It's not a mystery like the red blend or the white blends that you see sometimes here in the New World. What's helpful with that last point is the fact that if a certain region has to grow a certain grape, then you know when you're picking up a bottle of French wine what you're going to have in that bottle. So this Beaujolais, for instance, is 100% Gamay, so you don't ever have to wonder when you grab something like this off the shelf. You know what you're buying.
Underneath Beaujolais Village, you see the AOC designation. So this is telling us that all of these grapes are coming from this particular sub-region. That's our producer, Louis Jadot, and at the top, 2019 vintage. Now the nice thing about these bigger producers is that sometimes they will actually give you more information. So here on the back you can see that they tell you it's 100% Gamay. That takes a lot of the guesswork out of it.
There are regions within all of these Old World countries that can grow more than one grape variety. Another example is the Côte du Rhône region, which can be made from Grenache, Syrah, Mourvedre, or Cinsault. It could be a combination of any of those grapes together.
So if we're looking at this Côte du Rhône, you can see that at the bottom it says Appellation Côte du Rhône Contrôlée, which it has to say legally and lets you know it's 100% Côte du Rhône. The top, it tells you the vintage, and this is the producer.
There are some wine regions within the EU that will give you little hints as to what's inside of it, more than just the region that it's grown in. A great example is this bottle, which is Barbera di Asti, which is grown in the Asti region of Piedmont in northern Italy, with Barbera being the grape.
When looking at this Italian label, I see a couple of things. First, we have the producer's name at the top, Vietti, the vintage, 2018, and then it tells you right there, Barbera di Asti. So I know right off the bat that this is a Barbera made in the Asti region. In Italy, when they get this specific, most of them will have a band that looks like this at the top, DOCG. And that's a marcation of quality and also a way to guarantee that the bottle that you're drinking is what it says it is.
Sometimes, this labeling will go even farther than just a particular region. They might go so far as to even name the vineyard, in which case they have to put it on the label. A great example is this Spätburgunder from the Rheingau region in Germany.
While this German wine definitely looks like a mouthful, we can get a lot of information out of this label. J.B. Becker is the producer. Rheingau is the region within Germany where it was grown. And that double W word there is the vineyard, and to be fully honest, I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. 2015er is the vintage, Spätburgunder is the variety, and Spätlese Trocken is a style of making wine, which is very particular to German classifications. Spätlese tells us that these grapes were picked a little bit later, so this is going to have a little higher concentration to it with riper fruit flavors, while Trocken means dry, which makes sense considering that this is 14.5% alcohol, which is kind of a lot for this region for a Pinot Noir, or Spätburgunder, I should say.
So next time you're at a wine shop and looking for a bottle, try to find these context clues to help tell you what you're actually looking for. As you start exploring and figuring out what it is you do and don't like, it'll be a lot easier to move your way through a wine aisle when you understand what the region is normally known for. As always, ask the wine professional. It's what they're there for. If you found this information helpful and are ready for more, be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you'll always know when I put out something new. And throw me a like and a comment. Let me know what you think. no matter where your bottle's from or what it says on the label, the best bottle of wine is the one that you share.